Hello, my dearest friends. I'm Natasha Koo from Intolign. A few days ago, I actually just got back from Hong Kong, a short trip with my mom, and I met someone who is absolutely amazing. It was a stranger who sat next to me on this short flight. It was only 3.5 hours, but I got to meet this beautiful human being, and within just the first hour and a half we connected on such a deep level. And I just want to share with you all the things that, not all the things, just the things that I was able to soak up within this short amount of time with this stranger. And I think for this video, the main question that can be asked throughout this video is, how much are you willing to risk in order to do more good in this world? And how much courage do you have to actually bring yourself to do those scary things? So keep that in mind as I dive into this story. So on this flight, I was just sitting down. My mom got the window seat, I'm in the middle seat, and someone was actually sitting in the aisle seat, but he switched because he was actually with his girlfriend. It's one of those budget airlines, so this tall man in his 60s actually sat down next to me, and I saw that he was holding onto a passport, a Canadian passport, and that just perked my ears up because I'm a Canadian, he's a Canadian, let's connect. And in the beginning I didn't think much of it, we just made small talk, but soon I realized that he's not only Canadian, but he is, or was, also a firefighter. He was also in the military, but I'll focus mainly today on his firefighting career. So I couldn't help myself, and I started asking questions about firefighting, about saving lives, about fire, about just his experiences, because I've never met a firefighter in my life before. I do not know much about firefighting, and I just wanted to get to know him. And as we talked and talked and talked, I started to realize that we were just pouring out our hearts to one another, and he was really sharing from the depths of his heart. And this man has so much empathy, so much strength, and just so much love for the people in this world, and it was incredibly touching. So there are so many things that he said, but I'll share with you maybe the first one, which is about the fact that they actually have less and less time compared to a decade or two ago to actually save lives, because due to the synthetic materials in the building material, construction material of the houses, of the apartments, of the buildings, or also within the decoration, within the furniture, because everything is no longer just wood. Now it is glue upon synthetic material, upon plastic, upon glue, and it burns way faster than before. Also for the pillars that hold the buildings up. So in the past, where there used to be just a full wood pillar, now it's made of synthetic material, and buildings would collapse much faster, and they would have much less time to save the people, and they would have to change their whole strategy. So not only does this influence the amount of time they have to actually execute the plan and save people and get them out of there, a lot of his colleagues actually had or got diagnosed with cancer, and many of his colleagues passed away because they have to now breathe in the fumes of all these chemicals. So just at the beginning, as he shared this story, I was really touched. I already heard of the passing of his colleagues and the impact of the synthetic world that we live in, and all these chemical, plastic things that we surround ourselves with, and the ultimate impact that this has on people. Not only that, but he also mentioned that the sources of fires, at least where he is in Canada, a lot of them are old people living on their own, isolated, not forgetting to turn the stove off, or they are heavily medicated people. And he said there are so many medicated people who are so groggy from the drugs, and they also, make mistakes. So it's quite heavy. It's quite heavy of a topic, but that's the conversation I had with this beautiful stranger. And I couldn't help but ask more questions. Ask more questions about life and death, and what he thought of it, what he still believes in after he has saved so many people's lives, and also what he believes in now that he has seen people die in his arms, literally. And to my surprise, or maybe not, he did share that he has this feeling that no matter what, there is a greater force. There is a greater force. And this is coming from a man who has witnessed so many deaths and close to death encounters in his life, not only of the people he's saving, but also of himself. And I began to feel how this man is also heavily burdened with the loss and the pain that he had to deal with for more than 20 years of his life. And because of the heaviness of his job, emotionally, he's not able to, always share it with his family. So with, everything that has happened, everyone kind of keeps a part of them that they are unwilling to share with others because they think it's too heavy. And I think this is also one of the reasons why it's just so important for all of us to be educated and to have the tools, know the tools, learn the tools, use the tools to deal with our emotions. Because on every single level, we are going to go through trauma in life. There are going to be these pivotal moments where someone in our, immediate family or friendship circles, someone's going to lose their life or fall to some illness, or we're going to get fired, or some natural disaster happening, and we're just going to have to face these harsh, uncontrollable elements of our life, of someone else's life, and we have to emotionally kind of get through it, process it in order to come out well. And it was then that I realized how important it is for us to all have the tools to be able to digest these heavy emotions. An average person probably has these pivotal moments less than a handful of times in their life. Well, this man, because of his service, firefighting, he had to witness multiple times these pivotal moments of life or death. Because we are so separated, aren't we, from death, from these pivotal moments that kind of awaken us and put things into perspective. And this person has to see it and experience it so many times in his life. So I hope that, everyone has this ability to digest it and to evolve from it. And another thing that touched me really, really deeply in our conversation was how much empathy and love he has for the victims' families, or even his own family. There were times where he had to save a girl who looked so much like his own little daughter, and that night he had to go home and hug his daughter in his arms because he couldn't believe that some young little child who looked so much like his daughter passed away, and there was no way that he could save her. So that was one thing that he did when he went home, is just hold his daughter in his arms for so long, because he was so grateful for having her in his life. With all these stories of love and loss and great pain and grief, I realized that the deep pain is actually backed up by great love and empathy. If this man, this firefighter, did not have love and empathy and this open heart for himself and the world, he would not feel that pain. So with our hurts, actually, the other side is actually love. And for someone like me who is usually quite happy, I have, I cry a lot of the time, and I feel great pain, I feel great loss, and it doesn't mean if you're happy and you're open to everything that you don't feel hurt anymore. In fact, you feel all facets of, you know, being a human, of the emotions even more deeply, because behind, you know, every grieving, every loss, every single pain is that love, is love. So it was really interesting to see that duality. And the same thing, the duality of him seeing life and death, all these situations where he was helpless, he could not save someone, and yet he still has that hope in his heart, and he has that feeling in his heart that there is something much more than just the physical world here with us. So it's incredible to meet such a person on my short journey from Kuala Lumpur to Hong Kong. But it goes to show that any connection is possible anywhere with anyone, and also that it is through bravery, through courage, through love and strength that we are able to do good in this world. And sometimes going for that meaning, going for that career that truly means, you know, our life to us, that means taking huge risks. That means that we might even have to put ourselves into a very dangerous position, but if it's your path, then it's going to be worth it for you. And I know that this man regrets nothing within his very dangerous job as the captain within the firefighting team, and that in his more than 20 years of service, that he is so proud of it, and that he would have not done anything else but this, because it is his path, and all the risks, all the dangers were so worth it to him. I hope that this story of my encounter with this beautiful human being, and how we were able to share this beautiful connection, and to share with you just a glimpse of the conversation that we had, care, bravery, love. Let me know down below if you know someone out there, maybe in your life, that has also done great good in his life and have taken risks and is brave and is courageous, and it's because of those things that they're able to do something majorly positive in this world. So let me know down below, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!